That's. Sorry about that.
So this was great. Thank you. All right, John.
Give you that location. Now I gotta get this on.
I think your mom wanted to get that.
Wow, that's awesome.
You said who made this one? Okay.
Who is the artist?
Who made it?
Well,
I think Sarah McMains came up with it. I don't know whether she had help on it or not. But that's cool. And they had still have I think some t-shirts with them on.
Can you get one?
wow.
No.
That's cool. Thank you, George.
I have a visual on my phone.
Thank you. That's one. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I'll feel good. That's good.
Got it already now.
Pay everybody electricity.
I want to wait another minute or so for Dana.
Just had to call her. Maybe she's setting clocks at home.
You got her number?
I do, but it probably won't work here. I can
Okay.
call her from the city phone. Yes.
She's home.
Maybe Zach got it. Can you text me
I
that?
don't have service.
Yeah.
You don't have. Was work slowed down pretty much here with that power outage? No, well,
She sent a message to Patty. She's running late.
okay, thank you.
What was the
No,
message?
we busted right through the power. We didn't even know the power was off. We were working so hard in here.
The light just coming out of the energies here.
He said feel free to
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead. Robert, do me a favor.
Shut that door behind you. Thanks. Go ahead and call the special town council meeting of July 3rd, 2024 to order. All members of the council are present with the exception of the reporter. Does anyone want to change the order of the agenda before we approve it?
Move to the agenda as submitted with a single item.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda? All right, we got that. We got a second from motion. All in favor of the motion. Okay, motion carries. I appreciate everybody coming in here. City for July 4th. If this wasn't an important issue, I wouldn't have called the meeting. Appreciate council making the trip here to assist us. What I want to do is we're on the record now, and I want to give a brief overview of an issue, and then Storm, if I step on your remarks, just bear with me. coordinate my remarks with yours. So I want to give a brief overview of the issue, and then guide us to where we go from there. We applied for the WDA. WDA stands for Water Development Authority grant a long time ago. The Water Development Authority is headed up by an individual, Marie Prezioso. Marie is the Executive Director of the Water Development Authority in Charleston, and she also oversees the IJDC. The IJDC is the Infrastructure and Jobs Development Council. So that's a subsidiary of the Marie oversees both those organizations. Like I said, we applied for a water distribution grant. And then we were approved for the grant. I believe we applied, it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 6. Is that right, Debbie? Somewhere around 6 or
In the beginning, we started with 9,
was it
9, and then we went to 6, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was 9, then it went to 6. And then we were approved for 3.3 mil for our water distribution system. And I will say that in discussions with Marie Prezioso, the percentage of our approval was one of the highest in the state. In other words, we asked, let's say, for 6 million, which I figure we were approved for 3, so we got a 50%. But that was one of the highest. We were one of the highest in the state for approving what was put in. So we did very well in our grant. The grant is a combination of actual grant where we don't pay the money back. It's a grant. It's not a loan. And so our grant is actually in 2.475 million. 2.475 million. And then we have a match. And the match is 825K. You add those two up together and it comes up to 3.3 million. And so that was the one that was approved. And like I said, we had a very high approval on that grant, much more than most other municipalities in West Virginia. The project, as we worked through, and there was a lot of hands bringing this whole thing together. Several of them are around the table. Our council with us here this evening or this afternoon, Mr. Shingleton, and our bond attorney, and Debbie, Budget and Finance, and the Water Commission. There was a lot of hands that were, and our engineers, Region 9, that brought this thing together. And so we got to the point of putting a bid package together. The bid went out. I don't know when it went out, a month ago, whenever it was, that's not important. Bid opening was held a week ago, Tuesday, June 25th. I went to bid, and bids were opened and overseen by our council. There were 3 bidders, and the bids were open. Friday, June 28th, 3 days later, I traveled to Charleston to pay a visit to Marie Prezioso with WDA to discuss the results of the bid opening. As a result of my discussions, well, let's just say my discussions were based upon a variety of procedures and processes and direction that we came to the conclusion was in the best interest of this project. And it was a combined decision of our 2 attorneys, Storm and Debbie, Steve, Region 9,
Nina, what's that?
Nina, right, and Chris Eckenrode. So there was a lot of people and a lot of meetings to come up with a strategy on how to deal with the bids that we received. And I think that that's all I want to discuss any clearer. Storm, you have anything to clear you want to discuss?
The next level of detail, obviously, there's information that we may not be able to discuss in public, but we did have the bids. The short version is the bids that came in, we simply do not have the funding to be able to do the project. And so our finance officer, working with our engineering and legal teams, has found a way to move the project forward and have shovels in the ground before the end of the year. If we do not, this is the project that if we do not have it ready by the end of the year, those federal dollars go away forever. And this can be done by pulling out some of the project elements out of the main bid package and put the revised package out for rebid. And this should put the costs into the range that the waterworks could afford, and that everybody who previously bid would be invited to do so again. Be also be open to additional contractors. And depending on what the new bid amounts look like, it's possible that some of the work that was taken out of the main bid package as was could still be done as part of this project. And if not, plausibly, there are other funding sources that those projects could have, specifically, potentially congressionally directed spending. Our finance officer will now walk us through the details, and afterwards, we'll have proposed actions.
Roberta, I'm going to call on you for your question, but I will caution you that I may not answer your question.
Okay.
I'm determined that will place us in jeopardy since we're in the clear. I may not answer your question.
Okay, I think they're fair questions. All right, you said you had a meeting with various people, and do you have the dates of those meetings? Were those meetings held in Charleston? That's what I'm trying to understand. With all those people,
Had several meetings in Charleston,
but you alone?
just me.
Okay, and then the meetings with Storm, Deb, Steve, Region 9, Nina, 2 attorneys, and Chris Ackenrod. Got that my name, I got. When did those meetings take place?
Various states, so I probably.
Okay, were there meeting minutes taken of those days,
No.
of those meetings? No meeting minutes. Okay, and they weren't posted publicly?
No,
Okay. Okay, and then the items that were taken out of the bid package. Do you have a list of those items today?
we can't,
We need it.
I won't
cut
get into
this
that
off.
right now.
Oh, okay, and when you took the items out of the bid package, did you ask for new bids from each party to also make everything fair again or not?
I'm not going to discuss that.
Okay.
in the clear.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions?
No, sir, that was it.
Okay, so I'm
You have a
gonna
screen
share,
share?
I'm gonna share the screen and go through the basic, just review what we've talked about already. And, give you some basics, and then we're gonna get into, then we'll go into details, and I can find what I'm, there we go. All right, so just to review, just to review what we've already said, this project needs a shovel in the ground by December. The total values are around 3.3 million. The WDA funds are 2.475. Our match is 825. Included in that 825 is $125,000 of monies that we have already spent. Why is that screen share? Oh, okay, no, that's right. $125,000 that we've already spent on this project in design elements and engineering and accounting and attorney fees. So that means that we had $700,000 that we needed to come up with. So that's the bond ordinance that y'all have been working on over the last several months that we're going to be using to borrow, that we're going to be borrowing money and under that bond ordinance series 2024. That is, and the way we're going to be paying that back is through retiring debt next year. So the ideal maximum cost that we want cash-wise on this project is actually 3.175, if you see that number down there. And so also to review, the main components of this project are the water tank rehabilitation that needs to be done for 2 of the tanks up on the mountain, the pressure reducing vault on Washington Street, and then lots and lots of pipe, as much pipe as we could get into the project to be replaced. Okay, so those are that's the overview of the situation.
Thank you. Steve, could I ask you to fire that up again so I can read my notes here? Okay, so based upon a variety of issues, I am requesting we go into executive session based upon West Virginia Code 698-4 subsection 9 to consider matters involving or affecting the purchase, sale, or lease of property, advanced construction planning, the investment of public funds, or other matters involving commercial competition, which if made public might adversely affect the financial or other interests of the municipality.
So moved.
Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Chris, discussion? All those in favor of going into executive session? Opposed? Let the record reflect 5 for executive session, 1 opposed.
And one
Okay, we are now in executive. Steve and our counsel to remain in executive session to assist.
1 second here.
I'm sure the spotted lantern flies. We're very excited to hear that.
Okay, we are on executive session along with Spotter.
Okay,
Okay, council, we're back into regular session.
5:20 PM.
I move to reject all of the WDA distribution system upgrade project bids due to funding limitations.
There's a second on the motion to approve. Second from George. Discussion on the motion to approve.
Hearing none, all in favor of the motion,
Unanimous.
I move to restructure the WDA distribution system upgrade project bid to take the water tanks, Gilbert Street, and Meadowbrook Alley components out of the base bid and make them alternate bids, and to put the revised package out to rebid for 4 weeks from July 17 to August 20, 2024.
Second on the motion. There's a second from George. Discussion on the motion. All those in favor of the motion, raise your hand. Unanimous. Motion to adjourn?
We have that from George. We have a second from Storm. All those in favor? We are adjourned.